Okay, guys, 8 o'clock, time for me to get started. So, welcome to the call. My name's Roger Garth. If you're looking at this for the first time, I'm going to be your host for the call tonight. Now, if you are looking at this for the first time, I know we have a few people that are new to this. We're not going to try and sell anything to you tonight. This isn't about selling, this is about sharing a business. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you how you can actually start to make some money over the next, God alone knows how long we've got in lockdown. We started doing this. I've been in this business now for 30 years, but we started doing this specifically this way at the beginning of the last lockdown. And we have people on the call right now who were brand new to us at the time of the last lockdown and are now very, very accomplished and moving a long way forward in what they're doing. So what we're going to do, hopefully, is help you to share a solution to any problems that you might have. And I'm going to show you how to share that with other people and solve your problems by helping to solve other people's problems. That's really what this is all about. So it's not about being perfect. It's about putting some effort in. That's what really makes the difference. You don't have to be brilliant at anything we do. All that you've got to do is put consistent effort in. And when you put consistent effort in every single day, you can make a world of difference to your life. 7 months ago, we had our first lockdown. A lot of people then just sat at home, they watched TV, they got drunk, they binged on trifles, they did all kinds of weird things. They didn't know what to expect. People know a bit more about what to expect with this next lockdown. But although they know what to expect, they don't, and they're actually scared about what the results of it's going to be because a lot of people have lost their jobs since then. A lot of people have lost their source of income. And more people are aware right now that they don't know what's going to happen after this lockdown. I think none of us are really fooled by what was said yesterday that this is going to be a lockdown for a month. It's not going to be for a month. It's going to be extended. We know it's going to be extended. How long it's going to be extended for, we really don't know. So you need to find a way to fill your time, stop yourself from going mental. You need to find a way to help yourself financially without having to go out, without having to go and talk to people, without having to sell to people. Just find something that you can do that can take care of your finances. Because if your job is one of those jobs that's going to go, what's the solution going to be to you? Because there are a lot of people going to be fighting for the same jobs this time next year. So we're going to show you about that. And as I said, you don't have to become a genius at anything that I'm going to talk about as long as you just practice it consistently. So last week, we learned how to start to find prospects to actually build your business. Now, if you weren't on last week's call, there is a recording of it. So ask the person who invited you onto this call if you can see a recording of last week's call, and we'll show you exactly how you find those prospects. Right now, I'm going to tell you about what you're going to do with the people that you found. See, here's the thing: the list that you build and all the prospects that you have, all the prospecting that you do is useless unless you actually invite people to look at the business. It's what you do with that list that counts. But the reason I told you last week I want you to have a list is that what we do as traders is we're very conscious of risk management. We take care when we place a trade, we only place a trade with a very small amount of the resources that we've got available. But what happens in network marketing is people come in, make a mental list of 3 or 4 people, then they charge out talking to them because they haven't got a clue what they're going to say. They go rushing out, blurt out a few silly things. Those people say no. And the tiny list they had in their head has now disappeared because they had no strategy for risk management. If they had a list, a big list of people, which every one of you is possible to have a big list of people, then every person that you talk to makes a small, even if they say no, it only makes a small dent on the list that you have. That's that's risk management for network marketing. So we're going to talk about how to invite prospects to look at this. And this is really The most important skill for you to master, how you're actually going to talk to people, but you don't have to be a master to get started. You've got to get started to become a master. It's just a simple fact. If you don't get started, you're never going to get good at it. So, as far as I'm concerned, as I said, risk management is list building is risk management for network marketing. Get that right eventually. Now you've got the list, however, this is what happens. Most new people start hunting for people to come and join their team. That's all they're saying to people when they're running out to talk to them. You've got to come and look at this business. You've got to join my team. And they're looking at everyone that they see as another new potential member of their team. The problem is the people that you're talking to don't want to join a team. When they hear you come and talk about joining the team, what they think is you're going to try and sell me something. You're going to try and talk me to doing some things I don't want to do. I don't know how to do. And they run away. They absolutely run away from you because you're treating them as if they're a commodity. Well, we're going to show you how to do it something differently to that. Rather than treat people as a commodity, treat them like a friend. Treat them like a friend, treat them with respect, and learn how to attract the right prospects that you need to your business. The first thing that you need to do is make friends with people. Every single day you should be going out talking to new people and make friends. But when you make friends with people, earn their trust. Don't just be the person who's trying to sell them something. Don't just be the person who's trying to recruit them. Tell them what we do, but be happy to help them when they're ready. And the important thing to remember about that when they're ready is that some people will get started in your business straight away. Some people will just love what you say to them. They'll think this is fantastic. I wish I'd seen it years ago, and they'll get started. Some people will say, I can't see it. I don't understand it. I can't see it working. But because they're your friends, they'll keep watching you. And as they keep watching you and they see you getting results, they'll become curious. And if you haven't tried to sell them, if you haven't tried to scare them off, eventually they'll come back to you. And when they come back to you, because they're coming to you, the story is completely different. When they come to you, you're in a position of absolute strength. So just try and help them when they're ready. Your first goal really shouldn't be about trying to recruit new people. It should just be to educate them about what we do and show how it helps people. And really, it's just about telling stories to people. So listen to all the stories that you hear on a day-to-day basis as we go about what we do in our life and we go about what we do in our business. You'll hear about you'll hear about Katie, who owns a sandwich shop. Katie got involved in this business at the beginning of the last lockdown, and she didn't really know what was going to happen at the beginning of the last lockdown. But Katie is one of those people who saw it, jumped into it with both feet, and she's run with it, and she absolutely loves it. She's smashing as traders. She's building a team of people. She loves it passionately. Learn that story and tell that story to someone that you come across in your life who has a shop. Maybe has a sandwich shop, maybe has a different kind of shop. But tell that story to someone else. Then you hear about Daisy, and Daisy is a personal trainer. Daisy didn't come on board to build a team of people. Daisy had tried trading Forex once before, and it didn't work for her. But she still wanted to know. There was a little bit of something there she wanted to know, but she didn't want to build a team of people. But when she actually found IM Academy, and she found what she had and she started learning, she was blown away with it. She couldn't stop talking to people. In fact, that's why she spoke to Katie. And now she's building a team of people. Talk about Jamie Booth and talk about the people that Jamie talks to. Jamie works non-stop at this. He's all over social media. He doesn't have to go out and leave his house to talk to people. He does it on Facebook. He does it on WhatsApp. He talks to people all day long, every single day. And he builds a great team locally to himself. Even though he's talking to people from around the world, he has a great team that's local to him because he's really, really proud of the place that he comes from. And he makes a big deal of telling people that he's here to put Stoke on the map. So learn Jamie's story, learn Simon Brooks' story, 32 years in this business. Network marketing multimillionaire. He's in fact on record as being one of the top 100 highest paid earners in this income of all time, of this industry rather, of all time. My own story, I used to be a car salesman, but I'm all right now. So talk to someone who's a car salesman and tell them my story. Find out all different stories. Ed Sharp, who's a printer. Different people from different backgrounds, because we're all ordinary people from different backgrounds and weird and wide-ranging backgrounds. You know, from people who work in building sites right through to people who are accountants and everywhere in between. We have a wide range. Learn to tell stories to people, but let people decide if it's something that they want to do, because when it's their decision, not yours, when you haven't twisted their arm up the back, if it's their decision, they're less likely to regret it. Trust me, as a former car salesman, I used to talk people into buying a car. And my job was to get a decision on the day. I was there to get an order form. Problem is that when you talk people into doing something and then they go home and you're not around, they get what we used to call buyer's remorse. Even as much as they might wanted the car, they just go like, I shouldn't have done it. And the next day they phone up and they cancel. Well, people have the option to do that as far as IM Academy is concerned. If they turn around and contact IM Academy 2-3 days after they got started and say, look, it's not for me, can I cancel? IM Academy will say, of course you can. There's your money back. Won't question it, won't doubt it for 1 second. They'll just give them their money back. That means you just lost someone in your team. That means you just wasted the time that you put into it because you tried forcing them. If, however, it's their decision, if they chose to do it, there's much less chance that they're likely to regret it, so they'll stay with you. So instead of being a pushy networker, become a coach. Become someone who genuinely wants the best for the people that you bring on board and genuinely help them as much as you possibly can. I do my damnedest with absolutely everyone in my team. If you're not yet part of this business, speak to anyone that's on here, but everyone will tell you that I do everything that I can to help as many people as I can, because I know that I can have everything in the world that I want if I just help enough other people get what they want, and so can you too. So build relationships and then offer sensible solutions to their problems. And their problems are really, really important. If you can find whatever it is that they're worried about, and then present this as being a possible solution to their problem, then you've got people who you're actually helping people. So we need to use a step-by-step process to this, a really simple one. So the first thing you want to do is you invite someone to look at some information, whether that be profitfromyourmobile.com. And if you don't know what profitfromyourmobile.com is, it's a website that I build that has a few videos on there that simply explains what this business is. Do not try to explain the business yourself. Just get them to go and look at that, or go to a Zoom call, or go to watch us on Facebook Live, watch a YouTube video, watch whatever, and then get them onto a 3-way call with your personal upline or your sponsor. If your personal upline isn't available, just keep going up and up and up until you find someone who is confident enough and available to do a call with you, because there's always someone available. So just follow some simple steps. If you don't know, just go back to that for 1 second. If you don't know who is in your personal upline, then ask your upline who sponsored them. And then ask who sponsored them. And find that list and get the numbers and get the contact details of 5 or 6 people in your upline. Within 5 or 6 people of you, there is someone who really, really knows what they're talking about and is more than prepared to help you. So just make sure that you find that and you'll be fine. Always make a point of inviting people to come to events. Whenever there is an event on, invite people to come to see it. Right now, we've got 15 people on this call right now. If every single one of you brings just one more person next week, this will double. And we've got people on this call right now who were on this call last week as a guest, looking at it as a guest. Now they're a member of the business. The person who invited them into the call last week is growing a team. All you've got to do is copy what they did. Do the same thing. Bring people in. You don't have to do the talking. Other people will do it for you. What is an event? Well, this is an event, and a training session like this is an event. Tomorrow night we have another training event. The next training event tomorrow night is going to be held by Brandon Boyd, who's one of our uplines from America, and that's going to be really important. On Tuesday, we have a very special training call that's going to be done with myself and Simon Brooks, who I talked about before. On Thursday, we've got another training with Joe Gomez, who is another one of our sponsors from the USA, earns $120,000 a year doing this. He's been involved with the business for just 12 months. Simon does that. Simon earns exactly the same thing. 12 months into the business, earning $10,000 every single month, regular as clockwork, month in, month out, month in, month out. Every Friday, in fact, there's a check for $2,500. It's not a check. There's $2,500 put into his account every single Friday. Would $2,500 in your account next Friday make a difference to you? Would do for most people. You know, we're gonna be going into some really, really weird times. We can do something for you with it. So whenever you hear of any kind of event, bring people to it. Next weekend, we're going to have a 3-day event. Next weekend, we've got a special event that's coming on that the company is putting on. The company is making available spaces to have 1 million people around the world watch this event. We're really, really close to 400,000 active customers right now. And with 400,000 active customers, if every single one of them brought just 2 people to the event, then even at a million places, we wouldn't have enough places for it. Now, everyone won't do it, but we could get really close to that million people. That will be something special. That will be awesome. If you don't know about that event, again, ask the person who brought you onto this to tell you about that. Now, of all the tools that we have, live events are absolutely the best events that you can go to, whether it's Zooms, whether it's a live meeting when COVID is over, whatever it may be. Meetings in homes with groups of people in hotels are always powerful, because if your prospect gets to see an event like that with other people in the same room, they know it's not just something that you've just come up with or someone's talked you into. They can see more people doing it, and there's huge power in knowing that you're not the only person doing it. So they're really, really powerful. But remember what I said before, do not try to explain this business to other people yourself. Whenever a prospect says to you, tell me about it, just turn around and say, look, I'm sorry, but I'm really busy right now. But have a look at and give them a link. Give them a link to the video, give them a link to profit from your mobile, whatever it may be. And just make a point of always being busy. Just take some pressure off you. Because if you just try and explain it for yourself, I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're just going to say, what, you want me to believe that people are making $860,000 a year? That we've got people making $860,000 a month. You want me to believe that? Yeah, they won't believe you. So learn the lessons. It's not about you getting people to join you. It's just about inviting people to look at the bigger picture and letting them make their own minds up. That's all that we do in this. So don't try to pitch people, especially as you learn trading and you get more used to it. Do not try to start dazzling them with clever terms that you know. You know, don't start talking about Bollinger Bands. Don't start talking about retracements. Don't start talking about divergence. Their eyes glaze over, and you just make it sound difficult and complicated, and they don't want to know about it. Let someone else explain it simply, in really, really simple language, and let them explain what's available to your prospect for you. So Here are the rules that you really need to sort of get your head around when it comes to inviting people to this. The first thing is that you absolutely must just detach yourself from whatever outcome it is when you talk to someone about the business. If they decide that they love the business, that's wonderful. If they decide they don't like the business and it's not for them, that's wonderful too. Doesn't make a difference. All you want to do is just invite them to take a look at it. And as long as you've asked them to take a look, you've done your job. Their job's to do the best for themselves. Your job is just to ask them. Yeah. So don't worry about whether or not, I'm scared of showing them because I don't think they're going to like it and I don't think they're going to join. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they like it or not. All you've got to do is just ask them and let them make their own mind up. We're happy with that. Be yourself. Don't try to copy some of the other people that you see on here. Some of the people that you see speaking on here are just such unique characters anyway, you couldn't copy them. We have Simon Brooks who turns around and he'll talk to people about pills, potions, lotions, bullshit, comes out with all sorts of stuff. There's only one person on the planet that can be Simon Brooks. We don't want two Simon Brookses. I love him to best and to death. He's one of my best friends. But don't try to copy him. Be yourself because people like you for being who you are. But do be passionate about what we're talking about. Bring some passion to it. And if you're not a passionate person, if you're one of those people that's just really quiet and introverted, you don't have to be loud, but show people that you believe in what you're talking about. If you talk to Katie about this, Katie is absolutely passionate about what we do. Just show some passion and let people see your excitement. Your excitement is what makes a difference. And finally, you need to have a strong posture. So, what's a strong posture? The posture is this: it means it's an attitude. And it's an attitude that says, I don't mind if you're not interested in my business. I'm going to continue doing it because I'm happy with it. I know what this business is going to do for me. I know what it can do for you, but it doesn't matter if you don't know. And you need to have that in your head because as long as you have that in your head and the person that you're talking to can see that, they'll sort of respect you for that. They're more likely to listen to you if rather than if you're apologetic about it or you seem really needy or you're a bit desperate and you need them to come and join you because I've got to get two people in my team. And it's like, if you're needy and wimpy about it, it's about the most unattractive thing in the world. Ask any woman who's got a bloke that's chasing her, that's desperate to go out with her, and will declare his undying love. It does not float their boats. What you need to do is have some posture about you and just show that you are just yourself. You're happy. They can join if they want. If they don't want to, not a problem. So let's get a bit more practical about this right now. We've told you some sort of theoretical stuff. Let's get practical about what we're going to do. These are the list of things that I think are really, really important. Don't worry about the fact they're coming up quickly because I'm going to go into any detail with each and every one of them. But the first thing that's on that top of the list is be in a hurry. There's something about people that are in a hurry. It's actually quite attractive to people when people are rushing away. If people like you in the first instance, but you're always in a hurry, people don't want you to run away. They feel like they're missing out a little bit. And so they quite like the idea of sort of keep being around you. Being in a hurry scores brownie points, but there's a really, really good line that you can use that ties into that, and it's going to help you incredibly. All you've got to say to someone is, look, I haven't got a lot of time. I'm in a bit of a rush right now, but I wanted to talk to you quickly. And then you go into your invitation. So the single most important thing you've got to remember when you're talking to your prospects in the first instance, you need to give them some sort of a compliment in the first instance. You need to tell them why you thought of them, but your compliment must be a sincere compliment. don't turn around and try to just sort of make stuff up, because it comes, oh, it's horrible. So whatever it is that you can say, if the person you're talking to owns a business and you want to talk about this, you can turn and you can say, look, I really appreciate the fact that I want to ask you to look at this, because you're a successful business person in your own right. I'd love to have your opinion about a new project that I'm getting started with right now. Just let me know what you think of it. If they've never run a business themselves, you can't say that. So you've got to have something that you can say. Think about something that can be practical and can to tie down. So just turn around and say, look, you've always been honest with me, and I appreciate that about you. I'd like your opinion. Now, if if they're known for not being terribly honest, maybe you don't lose that line either. If they're not known for being terribly honest, maybe you don't talk to them about the business. You don't have to have everybody in this business. But think of a genuine compliment that you can pay them just to get started and just to sort of set the tone properly, and then follow that up with an invitation. Now, your invitation, there are a bunch of different invitations that you can use to actually get people to look at it. You can ask for a direct approach. You can turn around and say to someone, look, are you still looking for a way to make some extra money? If you know they're always looking for some sort of way of making a few quid extra. Maybe, particularly given that there's another lockdown on its way right now, maybe you can turn around and say, are you looking for something that you can do that can actually give you another string to your bow, something to fall back on, just in case things don't work out well after the lockdown? You could try an indirect approach. You can turn around and you can say, look, I've just started a new project, and I'd really like your opinion. Can you spare me 20 minutes just to have a look at it and let me know what you think? So that way you're not actually directly asking them to join. You're just saying, can you just give me some opinion on it? Or you can be really, really indirect, and you can say, look, I know this isn't going to be for you. I know you're not interested in something like this, but I would appreciate your help. Do you know of anybody who could probably spare a couple of hours a week and might be interested in making serious amounts of extra money? That third one is really, I love that one as an approach with people, because if you turn around and say, I know this isn't for you, you'd be surprised how many people will turn around and say, do you know it's not for me? I'm always interested in making some extra money. Just, you can be as flexible as you like with this. And I'm just giving you broad brushstrokes here, but an order in which to take these things. And at the end of the call, I will make a PDF available of all of these things so you can actually get them. Now, as you do that, you then have to ask them a question. And I love this question. If I could, would you? If I could show you a way to do something that makes you an extra few pounds, whatever it is, if I could do that, would you like to look at it? Would you like to join? When I first started selling cars for a living, I was taught to take a customer out for a car, out in the car that we were interested in. What we'd do is, first of all, I'd go for a drive in their car, have a look at their car, find out how much money they wanted for their car. Then I'd find out how much they wanted to spend on a new car. We'd bring them a car around that roughly fitted into their budget. And then we'd say to them, okay, if I could get you into that car that you just drove and you liked, for the amount the amount of money that you said you wanted to spend, and I could get you the price that you wanted for your car, if I could do all of that, would you like to buy it? It's a question they can't logically say no to. They like the car and they want to buy it, yeah. And if I can give them how much they want for their car, and if I could make it only cost the amount of money they said they wanted to spend, they've got no reason to say no, they don't want to buy it. And it was a brilliant question. It was very cleverly structured, and it became an absolute way of life. And when I was learning to sell cars, we taught this on a training course, and there were probably 20 of us in the same room on a training course learning this at the same time. But the if I could, would you, sort of, it could be attached to absolutely anything. And I was 30 years old at the time, working with a bunch of people who were in their 20s and 30s, a lot of single lads who were thinking this was the funniest thing in the world. We were going out into nightclubs at night, walking up to girls saying, listen, if I could, would you? And we were turning it into all sorts of weird and wonderful things. You can have a lot of fun by saying, if I could, would you? However, you can have some powerful, powerful benefits when it comes to business with this one question. So you could turn around and say, if I gave you a link to a website, would you watch it for me? Simple enough question, isn't it? It's innocent enough. If you're actually having a conversation with someone and you hear them talking about a problem they've got, if you hear them talking about, they've just lost their job and they need to find a way to make some extra money, you could turn around and say, look, if I could show you a way that you could make some extra money just working from the comfort of your own home without having to go out and talk to anybody, without having to sell anything to anybody, would you like to know more about it? If I could, would you? And it becomes really, really simple. If I sent you a link to a video, would you watch it for me? And it's a way of getting them to confirm what they're talking about. If I made space on a call for you that's happening tonight at 8 o'clock, would you watch it? Get a yes from them, get some confirmation from them, get some commitment from them. If I could get you an invite to a meeting, would you come with me? Just get some commitment coming back. Now, this is what we're going to do with the commission, with the confirmations. We're going to get confirmations one at a time. The first confirmation that you can say, some people will say yes to absolutely anything just to get shut of you. But if you confirm it with them, they're more likely to stick with it. So the first confirmation is get a time. If they say yes, they'll go and look at your website. Say, okay, so what time will you be able to go and look at the website? It needs about 20 minutes to watch it, and get a time from them, a precise time. If they turn around and tell you it's going to be Wednesday, then whatever time it may be, whatever it is, you just turn around and you say, great. So it's going to be Wednesday. It's going to be in the morning or the afternoon. It'll be the afternoon. Okay, right. Wednesday afternoon. So by 4 o'clock, would you have seen it? Yeah. Okay. So you've got Wednesday at 4 o'clock. You've got a time. Second confirmation then is to confirm their time. Let them tell you when they're going to go to watch the website. Let them tell you that yes, they are going to be available to watch the Zoom call. Let them tell you that they're going to watch the video. Let them tell you whatever it is and confirm the time back to them. So if you're going to watch it sometime tonight, it'll be okay for me to call you tomorrow and ask you what you thought of it, yeah? And get a confirmation back and repeat it back to them. The next thing you do is schedule the next call. So it becomes really, really simple because all you have to do is just turn around and say, okay, so what time tomorrow is going to be best for me to call you? And get a time that you can call them back and make a note of it in your diary. It's really, really important because this is now their appointment, not yours. They've given you the time. Now, make sure, as I said, that you write it in your diary and use your diary. And after last week, we were talking about using a calendar or Google Calendar, whatever. You are using a calendar. I mean, tell me, really, that's hugely, hugely important. It's about scheduling your time because the amount of people that tell me that they don't have time to do this business blows me away when the reality of it is the busiest people on the planet, the people that run countries, not companies, people that run countries still only have 24 hours in a day. And yet someone who doesn't have a job tells you they don't have time to watch a video for 20 minutes. Anyone can do it. They just need to make time for it. So make a point of actually nailing things down. Once you've done that, end the conversation straight away. Because the longer you run a conversation on, the more they're going to ask questions. And if you keep talking and they ask questions, you're going to have to answer them. And if you answer the questions for them, you take away the reason for them to watch the videos and everything else. The whole reason for using videos is so that you don't have to explain it for them. But killing a conversation is really, really easy. Because all you've got to say is, look, I've got to rush. Told you I was in a hurry. Got to rush. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Do that, then move on. It's really, really simple. So your invitation then is just literally an invitation to ask people to look at the business. It's not asking people to join the business. Yes, ultimately we want people to join the business, but we want them to make their own mind up. We don't want to force anyone to do something that they don't want. So don't get it into your head that this is about selling or anything else. You've got to detach yourself from that. This is about sharing an idea with people and sharing a business with people. If you master this, you can have absolutely everything that you want in the world, because what you're going to be doing is helping people, genuinely helping people to make their lives better. But just like I said last week, it really comes from experience, just doing this time and time again. So it's not just doing it once, but doing it every single day. That's what makes the difference. Because if you don't do it, if you avoid doing it, you build a different habit, and the habit is putting things off. We call it procrastination. And that's a really, really tough habit to break. So don't do it. So, really, what we're here to do on this calls is to help you build some muscles and help you actually do that. Now, that last little bit wasn't relevant. Next week, we're going to do a bit more. Next week, we're going to teach you how to present the opportunity for yourself. That's the scary one, isn't it?
Raj,
Yes.
is there any timings yet for Impact Islands being given? Or was that in the call later?
Yeah. Just pile in, yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be.
No, I'm just thinking if we're on the Impact Island at 8 o'clock next week.
Good point. Really good point. As far as next week's concerned, if Impact Island is going to run into it, then we'll change it. If that's what we have.
I need to get packing and get my first class tickets ready and my passport out and all.
Right. Okay. So that's the Stoke sense of humour, is it?
The place we're going this year.
Sorry?
It's the only place we're going this year, Impact Island. The briefcase is ready.
It is the only place we're going to next year. What I wanted to do today was just give you some practical stuff about how to actually invite people. Simon did it the other day, but Simon has his script mastered. And Simon can do it a million times over, but not everyone can do what Simon does. If you follow this as an outline, you can create your own invitation and you can get people to come and look at the business and do whatever you want to do with it. Now, we are next week. I said we have got a special event. Next week, we've got Impact Island. Impact Island is going to set the stall for 2021 for us. There's going to be some big announcements at Impact Island. To start off with, the ECX Academy is coming out next week. If anyone isn't aware of what the ECX Academy is, have been, for the last 12 months, I've been working with creating their own drop shipping business for us. So people who like the idea of drop shipping, selling stuff on eBay, selling stuff on Amazon, whatever, where you actually you market a product that someone else is making, you make the sale, you set your own price on it, and the supplier takes their cost out of it and just sends you a little bit back, then sends you the profit back that you've made. Potentially there is a huge benefit. I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be because I don't know enough about the ECX Academy yet. That's going to be released next weekend, but I think it's going to make a world of difference for IM Academy next year, because it gives us another string to our bow for people who love the idea of what IM Academy does, but they're very nervous about trading, or they don't understand trading or whatever, but they like the people that are associating with here. It's going to give them something else. So the ECX Academy is going to be important, and there will be other important announcements there. Now, people putting questions in here. I know Violetta asked me what time Impact Island starts. No idea, Violetta. I'm hoping we'll find out, because in 20 minutes, there is a call with IM Academy with David Imonitier, and that's going to tell us what's happening. And I'm expecting that they'll tell us on that call what time the calls are going to be starting next week. But the calls are spread over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So next weekend will be a busy weekend for us. Yeah. but I think it's going to be something awesome because lots and lots of companies have been doing their conventions online, just doing glorified Zooms. IM have spent millions of pounds on making this look completely and utterly immersive. If you've got a smart TV, you should be able to look at it. You should be able to get access to it from your smart TV. If you haven't got a smart TV, get a HDMI lead and plug your laptop into your TV so you can watch it on a big screen. Because I think it's going to be something special next week. So that will be really, really powerful. Last week, we told you that Simon and I were going to bring back our old ways of trading. This is how we started the Winner's Circle 12 months ago. The principle originally was that Simon and I would look at the trades. We'd look at all the trade ideas that came through from IM Academy. We'd take the trade alerts that we liked and we sent them out to people. And we did it for about 6 months. And it was incredibly successful. We did really, really well. We traded something like, I think we did something like 143 trades and won 137 of them. The ones that we lost, however, we lost a chunk of money on them. And that was because we didn't know some important things ourselves. This year, we partnered up with a couple of frankly brilliant traders who've taught us the things that we needed to know to make that work for us. So what we're not going to do this time round is take any unnecessary risks with anyone's money. So with risk management in mind, and Simon and I calling the trades, we're expecting to see a phenomenal end to this year. Now we're going to start doing that next week. Simon has been pestering me to do this for a month. And for a month, I've been saying I really don't want to do this because it is hard work for me. There's a lot of effort involved in it for me because Simon, as much as I love him, is useless when it comes to technology. So that means it all falls on my shoulders. But when we asked you about it last week, the number of people that wanted it back and the number of people that said it'd make a difference for them had me saying, okay, we've got to do it. I've spent half of today plugging people into the system at the back end so we can do it. Last year, we had about 300 people that I was calling signals for, and I'm not going to do that again because it was too much for me. So I'm not going to do it. I am going to keep the numbers down and will not let it run up to 300 people again. We've already got about 100 people that have said now in the last couple of days said, I want those signals. And I can see an awful lot of you on, I think most of you on here are actually part of those signals. I will let I'll let some more come in. I might let another 50. So if I say another 50, Simon will turn around and say, can we make it 200? And whatever he says, he will try and push it further. Yeah. But I can't let it get back to what it was before because it hurt my own business and I won't do that because it will stop me from working with you guys. And I'm not going to let anything stop me from working with you guys. However, take advantage right now. Take advantage of the opportunity to get as many people as you can to look at this business and tell them that with the way we're going to be working from next week for brand new people who've never traded before, if they can send a text message, we'll show them how to trade. Simple as that. If they can send a text message, we'll show them how to trade. Now, we're also going to show them the education. And we're going to show them how they can actually learn. Daisy went to town with it when she first got started with this. She loved the idea of the education. It was Daisy talking to Katie about the education that got Katie involved in the business. And they've both taken the education on board to such a degree that Katie does her on calls every week with people watching her trade the signals, and they follow her and they think she walks on water. You know, Daisy's doing the same thing with her own people. She's teaching them to trade, but she's also teaching them to build a business. The one thing that new people have when they get started is they don't have the confidence that they can do that. They think it's complicated and everything else. We're going to make it simple for them. So you guys can teach them the techniques for themselves, but I'll make sure that they can earn money whilst they're learning. That's the important thing, to earn whilst you learn. And if you can get that expression, earn whilst you learn, fixed into your head, and talk to people about that, people will love you for that one, and people will join you for that one. So let's do that. I'm going to wrap it up now. We've got 15 minutes to go before we start the next call. The next call will be a very, very interesting call. So any questions, guys? You know where I am. Reach out in the Phoenix group. If you haven't yet sent a screenshot in to get onto those signals, make sure you do get on those signals. When I send those signals out, I put my heart and soul into sending those signals out. When I send them out, I really do want to make sure that you guys are making profit. I also want to make sure that we're not losing you money. Some of these trades will lose. Understand that. You're not going to win every trade with these, but you might lose a trade. Occasionally, we might have a bad day. We might lose a couple of trades, but you'll never lose a week. That much will guarantee. You will never lose a week, and that will make all the difference for you. And when you talk to new people and you can tell them, yes, we might lose a trade, we might occasionally lose a day, but we never lose a week. When you can tell them that, and you can tell them that with confidence, that's a game changer. Thanks for your time, folks. I will see you on the call later, and I will see you tomorrow night as well on Brandon's call. Bye, everybody.